Hey there, campers. Before today's episode, I just wanted to apologize for how crappy my audio sounds in the next, 4 episodes you'll be listening to. I don't know what happened to my mic, but it just suddenly sounds potato. So I do apologize. It doesn't hurt the story in any way, but the quality just isn't that great. So I apologize. I don't know what happened. As you can tell, the audio sounds great right now. So I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. But anyways, enjoy the story, you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Hey, campers!
Hey, campers, and welcome back to the one and only Camp Insomnia! Hi, campers. Welcome back to Camp Insomnia. I am your head camp counselor, Zachary.
And I am your head camp counselor, Devon. Hi, hello, how are you?
I'm assuming they're doing great. They can't respond, but I'm going to say that they said, oh my God, we're so excited to be here. We are a true crime and paranormal podcast. And to new campers joining us, and this is your first episode, welcome to your first day of camp.
Welcome to Chaotic Camp. Well, you'll be just fine and not be sacrificed into the fire.
Yes, you'll learn all about that in past episodes, so catch up, camper.
I'm dying.
As Devon dies. But to the campers who have returned to camp, welcome back. Welcome back. Really, really excited and happy that you're still with us.
Yes, after all this time, it's been so long. Thank you.
It's been so long. Great children. Yeah, so to catch you guys up on life in general, Canada's great. Kind of. Work has been a pain in the butt because I'm pretty sure I'm not supposed to say it.
Stuff and things.
You know, stuff and things. I had to redo a lot of stuff and things that I already finalized, and I had to redo it all. So, stuff and things. That part was stressful. But other than that, everything's great. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's a protest for anti-COVID people. They're saying that it was fake earlier today, and that was interesting.
Yeah, that looked really interesting. I wasn't expecting something like that to be happening out there, I guess. I don't know. That was kind of weird.
I was like, but I got COVID, so it's real.
Excuse me. Don't discredit me.
I've got it. Yeah, I had it at one point in my life. Anyways, yeah, so that's any update in my life currently at the moment. What about yourself?
I mean, I'm not dying anymore, so that's good. Because those last couple episodes, I was like...
I'm dying.
Yeah, legit. So I hope I sound a little better to y'all. Maybe not. Maybe I do just sound like that. I don't know. That's really about it. I mean, there's nothing really going on over here.
What do you mean there's nothing going on, girl? What do you got tomorrow?
Oh, my birthday.
It's your motherfucking birthday!
My birthday. I'm gonna be the big old 2-5 and I'm not having a crisis.
Hey. I turned the big 2-5 last year, and this year? Huh?
Last year.
No, last year. What am I saying? I turned 26 this year.
Yeah, ooh.
But damn, yeah.
I know.
Gross.
Isn't it weird? It's so fucking weird. But it's so funny, too, because we've been in the same... you just started school early. We've been in the same grade together this whole time. But you're older than me, so I just think... It's always been a weird thing.
Yeah. Yay, age. But congratulations on turning 25. You have been alive for 25 years.
No, it's so weird. I guess. Thank you.
But cool. Well, I have a really cool story for you campers today. And Devon knows nothing. And we always try to make sure that we keep it at us not knowing each other's research stories, just to keep for a better and more genuine reaction.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm really excited. I don't think you're gonna be expecting it.
Okay.
But I'm excited to tell you about it.
Okay. I mean, the reason why we do it, we like to keep it as raw as we can. It's supposed to, like you said, we make it genuine. We want to be hanging out with y'all. We're hanging out with each other. We hang out with y'all. We're around the campfire. That's how it's supposed to be. Just like the real thing, just hanging out.
Exactly. Hanging out, which is a comment that I get a lot from, is that it feels like I'm just hanging out with friends.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Which is what we strive for, is to make it feel like you're just hanging out with us, and listening to us, our goofy asses, talking about spooky shit. But yeah, so let's crack into this. So without further ado, campers, let's. We're tiptoeing. Let's tiptoe to the campfire and then let's gather around it.
Yes, and as we take our seats and gather around, let's go ahead and grab your blankies, grab somebody, snuggle up, and let's see. What is our tip for camp? Since I have nothing, as usual.
Nothing. Intuition, speak to you. I mean, I can give you a hint.
Okay, give me a hint, because then I can see what else will come up.
Fantasy.
Oh! I know. Okay. When you sign up for, let's see, what's that called? Oh, never mind. Wait. Yeah, there we go. I got it. When you sign up for LARPing, make sure you wear the safest padding you can, because we want to make sure everyone is being safe and not poke each other in the eye, please. Thank you.
Oh my god! Oh my god! That was a good one. Cool. All right. Well, today, campers, as I gather you around this fire, one thing to remember while you're at camp is that our Camp Insomnia, is in the forest, and as we always tell you campers, is to always and never go into the forest. That is one of our camp rules. Yes. There are many things in the forest that we know are terrifying and are unknown, and a lot of people end up going missing in our woods all throughout the world. And some of these creatures are now deemed to be very cute. Right?
What?
But their origins and what they actually are very terrifying. So campers, what we're going to be talking about today are the mythological creatures and some of the real life creatures of gnomes and fairies.
Ooh, I like this. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
What a twist. What a twist.
What a twist. So as much as we all know, Tinkerbell, right, and her little gaggle of friends, and they're spreading their pixie dust everywhere, that is great and all, but fairies are actually very terrifying. And as well as gnomes, as we know, like garden gnomes that you see in everybody's front lawns and stuff, they're a lot more terrifying than what we actually come to know. So let's crack into it. So what is a gnome? Do you know what a gnome is, Devon?
He is the little friend that we put in our garden that looks so cute and wears a little red hat and is like, hi, hello, I have a big beard and I'm friendly. But I'm assuming that's not what's about to happen right now.
Yeah. So, a gnome, as you guys all know, is a mythological. It's a mythological.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, that.
Definitely.
It is a mythological creature that is found across many cultures, and they vary in look, size, and personality. So we're going to be looking at a few different variations of these gnomes from different cultures, and give you a different perspective of the cute gnomes that are in your front lawn that are pushing a little hay barrel. We're going to be looking at some of them that are really terrifying. So according to the Britannica, which is it's an encyclopedia of things. A gnome in European folklore is a dwarvish, subterranean goblin or earth spirit who guards mines of precious treasures hidden in the earth. So think of diamonds, gold, geodes, stuff like that. They're the earth's people, even though I know we are, but they're the earth's people. They're there to protect all its riches.
They're
as we dig it up and take it.
The international leprechauns.
Yes, the International Leprechauns, exactly.
Yeah.
International Leprechauns Incorporated.
I love that.
The gnome is represented in medieval mythologies as a small, usually physically deformed, with like a hunchback, creature resembling like a dry, like gnarled old man, which is probably like me after a full workday. Just hunchbacked and looking like an old gnarled old man. So Gob is the king of the gnome race, ruled with a magic sword, and is said to have influenced the melancholic temperament of man.
Oh, wow.
So they have influence over mankind. Right. So they don't sound cute. I mean, for one, they're hunchbacked. They look like gnarly as fuck, and they're little old men that wander around protecting Earth's riches. They don't sound like the regular gnome you see in your front lawn. But let's look into, so that's like the general like synopsis of what like a gnome is.
Okay.
Now we're gonna look at like different cultures gnomes.
Okay.
So we're gonna look into like Latin America, and their equivalent to a gnome is called el duende.
Oh, I think I've heard of that.
Yeah.
That sounds really familiar.
Yeah. So the creature is very prominent folklore in like Spain, Portugal, Mexico, South and Central America, just basically any place where they speak Spanish, and even the Philippines, they have their own version of the duende, which is their version of the gnome.
Mm-hmm.
So they're usually described as standing anywhere around 8 inches high or up to 2 or 3 feet in height.
What the hell? So they could go from like literally this to this?
Literally. It's super small to like a toddler.
That's not weird.
Yeah, that's not terrifying at all either. So they are usually seen to be cloaked wearing animal skins and a large pointed hat. Some traditions of this duende describe them as having no thumbs and have the unique power of shape-shifting and invisibility.
I don't like that. Little sneaky shits.
Little sneaky shits. Oh, they caught me, lamp. Oh, the human saw me, chair. You know, I would love that.
Tell me why that just reminded me of like playing freaking prop hunt.
Yeah, literally. That's them. That's the duende.
Oh god, they're all gnomes.
It's a great example.
They're all gnomes,
Although all these regions have different stories of the duende, they all share a commonality that these things are mischievous tricksters with a tendency to steal people, play pranks, tormenting children, or kidnapping them. And lastly, on the kinder side of things, they will help lost travelers in the woods if they like get lost. But I don't trust it. There's a 50-50 chance they just might leading you like into the woods for you to get even more lost, or actually take you to like civilization.
Or take my wallet. Shit. Little shit.
Yeah, give me your debit card and I'll show you exactly where to go.
There's a fee.
Yeah, there's a fee. A tips included. So although these beings are not seen as evil, they're not evil. They're just very mischievous, but they do some like pretty terrifying things that one could recognize as being evil. So duendes have been known to terrorize villagers, killing pets with carnage, slaughtering all the livestock, and like I said, kidnapping children and then never being seen again. So I don't know why they're not evil. They're just mischievous. I'm like, no, that sounds like an evil little bitch killing my animals and taking my kid
what the fuck? That's,
to never be seen again.
Yeah, that's like taking away happiness.
Being mischievous would put freaking hot sauce in my soup when I wasn't looking. I was like,
yeah,
it's hot.
Those are just like pranks. Yeah, being mischievous, doing innocent
but
things.
I was like, I killed all your cows. I'm so silly.
I was gonna say, I'm so funny. I'm so funny.
I'm so funny. I just took your kid. You'll never see him again.
Oh my god.
So funny.
Horrible.
To make matters worse, if that wasn't like terrifying already, parents would tell their children of the duende so they wouldn't misbehave. And so, for example, this is something they would say: "Beware, he's out there with." Don't let me. I gotta do it again. Okay. here we go.
Okay.
Beware. He's out there waiting for the right moment, and when they will take you away in the middle of the night to his cave in the middle of the forest. Everything's in the middle, apparently. He will keep you there, and no one will know, because you'll be deep in the forest in the middle of it, where nobody can hear you scream.
My God. Yeah, why is everything in the middle of the forest?
I don't know. Everything's in the middle of the forest. Just don't go in the middle of the forest. So here are some reports in the last 10 years on like the Duende. Some like first-hand experiences.
Okay.
So this account was given by a woman named Jasmine in 2016. She was living in Mexico. It didn't say really where. It was kind of anonymous. And the encounter she had with her mother, and that's when she ran into the El Duende. So they were sneaking into it like in a large abandoned house at the corner of a street doing some like urban exploration. And this is what she says. As we were walking around, we would hear a noise and instantly turn. We saw a small little human about 1.5 foot in height. We screamed, and it startled the little creature, so the creature screamed as well. It had a high-pitched scream, just like one of like Santa's elves would be, but just scarier. Yeah. But like, scare the shit out of each other. It started running really fast around the whole room. Gotta go fast.
I was gonna say
screaming, ah! Their eyes followed the gnome as it made at least 3 laps around the room until they didn't see it anymore. It just vanished.
What the hell?
So it just like disappeared midair. Mid-run scream. Ah! Gone. Gone. After processing what had just happened, we ran out of the house and we never returned. We were too scared to even walk by the house to get to school. We never told anyone. We thought that no one would believe us. I'll never forget the terrified face of that small creature. I will never forget the screams of pure horror that came from both me and that gnome.
I just picture the whole thing is just little laps.
Yeah.
What if it like it was running because it was doing laps around. It ran laps to create a portal to disappear into its own portal.
That's true. No, that's your face. No, that's really smart though. That makes sense. Like for sure. Like that could happen.
No. I
just know. I'm like a gnome expert.
Yeah, totally.
So another encounter comes from 2017 in Mexico.
Okay.
And a man describes how him and his 6 friends have been chatting in the backyard of his home when something caught his eye in the shadows. And it goes like this. I looked. It looked like a dwarf, but really short and skinny. I yelled at my friends, and we just all stared at it. That's when one of my friends started running towards it and told us to catch it. We all started running towards it, and it ran. We were all chasing it. We caught up to it quickly. We were all jumping over each other trying to catch it until finally my best friend caught it by its legs.
Oh.
We were really up close, and that's when I saw it. It had no hair and a very veiny head, really pale too. But I saw its all black eyes, and its mouth, well, it wasn't a mouth because its mouth had been sewn shut.
What the hell?
Yeah, it sent shivers down my spine, and my friend still held it in his right hand by the foot. That's when its mouth opened. Stitches looked like toothpaste was oozing from it, like foam pus coming out of the stitched mouth. And it bit my friend in his chest. He let go of it and it ran off under some fences. My friend was groaning, holding his chest. He wasn't bleeding a lot, but whatever it was left him with a huge cut that'll probably turn into a scar.
Ew.
Yeah.
And you know what? It kind of like sounded like a a human voodoo doll at first, like running around.
Yeah, they come to life. Yeah.
But then when you said it started oozing and stuff, like
pus coming out of his mouth.
That's weird. Like, what could that even be?
I don't know.
a duende, I guess.
I know, but they're like,
so,
I'm thinking of logical explanations, but I can't figure out anything for that one.
a rat that could run on 2 legs.
No.
No, yeah, exactly. So, my grandpa, he's from Mexico, so I was like, I want to know if he knows anything about the duende, right? And so I shot my grandma a text. I was like, hey, like, Grandma, does Grandpa know about, El Duende? Has he ever experienced it? Does he know any stories? Because that's very prominent in Mexico.
Yeah.
And I wasn't expecting the response that I got.
Oh, no way. Pa
So
came
my
through?
so my grandma asked him, and then she texted me this. Pa was very little and doesn't remember much. He was too young to even understand it. He said there were little people who helped Santa deliver presents. He said he will talk to his cousins and see what they remember. Love you, Chulo. I was low-key fucking disappointed.
No, god damn it. So Pa didn't come through.
I really thought it was. No. I was waiting for my grandpa to have like this epic, like scary story of how like his aunt was abducted by the duende. And it was, no, they helped Santa. I'm like, are you fucking goddamn?
So evil little shits help Santa, not actual elves.
I guess the parents were like, you know what? They get a lot of bad rap. We gotta make them a little cute, I guess. They're gonna help Santa.
I mean, I guess, shoot.
Yeah. I was looking kind of disappointed, but, thank you, Grandma.
Thanks,
for that. She asked. So another culture that has their own type of gnome is right here in the United States. Many people of the indigenous population, but instead of the gnome, they call their version of the gnome little people. All right. So we're going to be talking about the Cherokees version.
Okay.
Not to be a little biased because I'm like Cherokee, but they have some of the most information on it. So they call them Junwi Junsti, which means little people in Cherokee.
Okay.
So the Junwi Junsti are a race of small humanoid nature spirits. They are usually invisible, but sometimes reveal themselves as a miniature child-sized people.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, so they're child-sized people, but like imagine my 6'4" ass, but like toddler size.
Yeah.
Yeah. So usually these creatures will help the Cherokee in many stories, and they do state that these creatures have magical powers, but they said that they will harshly punish people who are disrespectful and aggressive towards them. So if you're a dick to them, they're gonna fuck your day up. But if you're real nice to them, they're nice to you back, which I think that goes around. I mean, if someone's gonna be a dick to me, I'm gonna be a dick back.
Mood.
I don't have any magical powers, but to fuck up their day. But yeah, respect the little people, y'all.
Oh my god.
So they have 3 clans. They have the first one being the Rock Clan, and it is the most malicious. Quick to get even when offended. Some say they're like this because their space has been invaded. Like many types of European fae, they are known to steal human children.
What's up with this, like, what's it called? Synchronicity? Synchronicity? What is
Synchronicity.
I can't talk. Synchronicity.
With stealing children?
Yeah.
What? Are you going to talk about stealing children?
No, just in general, like, even the other ones you've talked about.
Yeah, these things just love to steal the children. So the next clan is called the Laurel Clan. It is generally benevolent, humorous, and joyful. They are also mischievous, however, and love to play tricks on the unsuspecting. So they're really nice, but they'll still fuck with you. The last one is the Dogwood Clan. It is the most favorably disposed to humans. Though they are also stern, serious, they prefer to be left alone. So they're like the introverts of the gnomes people.
Mood.
Yeah, and they don't like humans all too much. So it is said you never want to invite these little people in. Never. Oh. Never become their friends. Like, hey girl, let's go kiki at my place, because they'll never leave ever. Ever leave. Like they'll never, literally. You know that one person where you're trying to get them out of your house and they just keep continuing conversation? Now imagine that till the end of time.
Wait a minute. I think there's there is a show that did show that type of gnome in it now I think about it. damn it, I forgot what it's called. Anyways, there's light fae and dark fae, and there is a gnome in it. I think it was a gnome, and they invited him in, and they were like, what did you do? He's never gonna leave now. He's literally moving in. He's staying with us forever. You cannot kick him out now.
Yeah, no, and that's basically that goes for all like fairy folk, because gnomes do fall under fairy folk. Yeah, they'll just never leave until you die. They'll be at your bedside. Dolores, Devon, you look so pretty dying. I would leave you, but you're not dead yet. So I'll be right here until your last breath.
It's literally like how they displayed it in the show. It was like they can't leave because it's considered rude, and they're very, very, very polite. Something like that. Yeah. At least that's how they displayed it in the show.
So what I would do is I'd be like, hey, Devon, I have this really cool friend. He's really short, and his name's Bob. You should invite him over for dinner.
You suck.
And you'd be like, yeah, sure. Like, let me get on the phone with him. Sure, Bob, here you go. See you later, bitch.
Worst birthday present ever.
So, yeah, I would not do that to you.
Thank you.
So I found this testimony from a volunteer or a worker who was helping an event for Indigenous People Day. In the description, they don't really give anything. Like, all I saw was a name badge, Indigenous People Day, didn't have his name on it, but it looked like it was after the event. It didn't say where it was, but he gave his testimony on Little People.
Okay.
So, he gives his testimony that was passed down from his family and onto him, and his family had encountered Little People, and not just once, but multiple times. He said that his mom's uncle would often wander into the woods at night behind their house and go missing for hours at a time.
Oh.
When he would come back, like dead of night, when he would come back, they would, of course, I mean, they'd be very upset, but he would be calm and happy because he said he was playing with the other little kids in the forest. They would keep telling him to not go into the forest at night and stay away from those children, aka little people, out in the forest. Like, no, sweetheart, please don't. So they kept a strong eye on making sure he wouldn't go out at night when finally he snuck out and did so, So the whole family started searching the forest, and once they found out he had left again, after hours of searching, they finally found him. But this time he was quiet and meek, and his family asked him where he'd gone. He simply pointed into the darkness of the forest. The weeks coming, they would often hear small feet running back and forth on the large wraparound patio on the outside of the house at night.
Ew, imagine hearing that. Just little pitter-patters. Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
weird.
That's literally what he describes. His mom's grandparents would go outside with medicine tobacco and pray and tell the little people to leave. And leave the young boy alone. His mom's uncle, something happened to him that night that changed his life forever. He became very reserved, shy, isolated from the family, and distant. He stayed this way until he had passed.
Oh, fuck. He is like literally scarred for life.
Yeah. And the guy giving the testimony also said when he was growing up, he would hear pitter-patter on the wraparound porch, and he'd ask his uncles and aunts and grandparents, like, what is that noise outside? And like, oh, don't worry about it. Grandma's going to go out and tell them to go away. Tell them? Who's them? Oh, the little people, but you don't need to worry about that. Like, it's not even, well, I want to go out inside and see them. No, you do not. We're going to get rid of them. We're going to handle it. Please just stay inside.
I'm surprised they didn't take his little ass.
Yeah, I know. So, I don't know what happened to his great uncle, I would assume, to make him do that, like just be reserved.
Yeah, maybe
something must have happened like really big for him to just suddenly turn 180.
What if like the little people found out that he told his family that he was hanging out with them?
They did something to him.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. They're like, listen here, you little shit. And they all pinned him against the wall with like a knife on his throat or something.
Yeah. We're gonna fucking kill you, little bitch. Oh wait, what is it? Snitches get stitches, motherfucker.
Like a little kid.
Even in the fairy world.
He was like, I'm sorry.
So we're going to steer away from the gnomes for now.
Okay.
And we're going to get into the topic about fairies.
Ooh, okay.
Fairies. And these ain't no Tinkerbell fairies, y'all. These ain't no Tinkerbell Disney magic fairies. No. No, you have been mistaken.
Oh my God.
You are on the wrong podcast for Tinkerbell and Friends. This is more like Tinker Hell and Demons.
Oh my God.
So,
I love it.
fairies are very common, are a very common theme in fantasy. But it may come as a surprise to you that, the original fairies of folklore were like far from sweet and innocent. They were like, come on, Peter, let's go to Neverland. No, it was, come on, Peter, let's go rip out a horse's throat because it's funny.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So fairies aren't cute. They are not innocent or sweet. No, campers. Fairies in folklore and legend are vicious, evil, malevolent, cruel, and embodying the forces of nature. They were also known to be lesser deities or even spirits of the dead, and often appeared as monstrous beings rather than the Tinkerbells we know today.
Wow. Well, okay. So I knew about them being kind of vicious and malevolent, but damn, what a statement on that one.
Yeah. Lesser deities and spirits of the dead. So
that's interesting. I've never heard that kind of theory on it, though. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so fairies were blamed for all mischief, such as like vandalism, theft, kidnapping, livestock dying, crops dying, luring travelers lost at night, then drowning them in a river, a creek, lake, a pond, or any body of water. And then they're also blamed for murder, which explains for the last part. And a fairy isn't... Fairies aren't just a little person with wings. It is a goblin. It is... a banshee, it is a gnome, it is many things. They're called the Fae, and it falls under a fairy is like any of those things.
Yeah, like more of a just a
general term.
Yeah, mythical creature general term.
Yeah.
Fae.
Yeah. Like saying the word arachnid. I mean, we have Black Widow, Wolf Spider, but it's an arachnid, it's a spider. So sometimes fairies can be cool. They can be chill. They won't drown you in a body of water. That's great, because sometimes fairies, if you didn't know, they like to party fucking hard. Fairies love to dance. They love to party hard, and sometimes they will enjoy the company of another human. But there's a but that comes with that. You can party with the fairies. You can be raving all night, and it may seem like an hour for you, but they can alter a human's perception of time. You can wind up dancing with them for like 100 years.
What?
Yeah, and sometimes the fairies know this, but they just won't say anything because they're having so much fun dancing with you. They're like raving.
Wow, that's kind of interesting. To manipulate time just to fucking manipulate you.
Yeah, literally. Sometimes you can break this dancing, but if you don't, you do it for 100 years and have serious injuries afterwards, like, I don't know, old age and death, or extreme exhaustion, because sometimes you will not be able to stop yourself from dancing and you will die due to exhaustion.
Wow.
Or you will be put onto the brink of a coma. So pick your poison. Party with the fairies and dance for 100 years. Go into a coma. Die of exhaustion. I mean, I suggest, don't party with them.
Yeah, maybe not on this one. Better safe than sorry.
Yeah. So, as we all know, as you know, gnomes love to kidnap children, right?
Yeah.
Well, fairies love to kidnap anyone.
Oh, okay.
Anyone, even your baby, and then replace said baby with a changeling. What is a changeling, Devon asks. Do you know what a changeling is?
I mean, I'm assuming it's like a shapeshifter kind of thing to make it look like, ooh, I'm your little baby. Hello, mommy.
So, basically. So they are creatures that are placed into mortal homes by fairies or demons who proceed to kidnap the original child of the home. Oh, so how do you know if your baby has been like abducted and is now replaced by a shape-shifting creature?
Yeah.
Like, how do you know, right?
Yeah.
Well, it'll exhibit very odd behavior or have traits on a human baby that like aren't normal. Like the baby will just have like 10 toes, no ears, 4 belly buttons, glowing red eyes. You know, the shit that's like not normal for your baby to have. Plus, if your baby has a crazy appetite and is somehow super knowledgeable and can speak fluently and is also very mischievous, you might just have a changeling on your hand. And some demons and fairies kidnapped your baby.
Fuck. What if that kid's actually just a prodigy, and then people were like, oh, it's a changeling, and they're like, no.
Well, see, and now that's the thing. Like, I mean, as we know, there are birth defects, and during that time, that was generally seen as, oh shit, this is a changeling. When in reality, their baby could just have a birth defect.
It's so sad.
And then they would kill said baby.
Oh my god.
Or go leave it in the forest and be like, give me my baby back. And then that baby literally just dies. So, but there are the times where it's actually a changeling. So you just don't quite know, do you, anymore? Yeah. Also, it is said that if you are a woman who is, I mean, drop dead gorgeous, and to a woman who is gorgeous and has very blonde hair, and if your child has blonde hair, well, you're going to attract those motherfucking fairies, and they're going to kidnap you.
Not even the baby? Just you?
Yeah, they'll kidnap you, and they'll kidnap the baby, but they'll kidnap you, and here's the reasons why.
Okay.
Other folklores say that human milk is necessary for fairy children to survive.
Oh.
In these cases, either the newborn human child will be switched with the fairy, baby to be suckled by the human mother. So, like, the mother's like, oh, it's my baby, when it's really a fairy, and she's, like, suckling a fairy baby, and she doesn't even know it. So that fairy baby can, like, get breastfed.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Or the human mother would be taken back to the fairy world to breastfeed the fairy babies for like eternity. It is also thought that human midwives were necessary to bring fairy babies into the world. So we're just going to kidnap all these women. You're going to breastfeed them. You're going to raise our children for like until you die.
Wait, but what's up with the blonde thing though? Do they just like them blonde?
I think they just like them blonde.
That's so weird. Okay.
So campers, don't be blonde. We got hair dye kits here at camp. Some of the stories tell of changelings who either are unaware or that they forget that they're not human and they proceed to live a human life.
Interesting.
They'll just like become so wrapped up with the story of being human that they'll start believing it themselves. Changelings, which do not forget, however, in some stories, they'll return to the fairy mother or their fairy family. So they'll forget for a brief period of time, and then that realization will come back and be like, oh shit, well I have to go back to the fairy world because I'm not a human, and they'll just go back to the fairy family. And the fairy family will be like, oh, damn, you're like 10 years too late. What the hell?
That's kind of...
But they eventually go back.
It's kind of interesting though, because if you were raised like that as a human from a baby, how would you... Well, they're really smart. Never mind. So they would remember that. Never mind. Yeah. I just answered my own question. Yeah.
Yeah. So more often than not, the human child that was taken often stays with the fairies forever.
So is that kid like, I'm a fairy too, but I look very different from everybody
No, it's
else?
more like, we're going to be milking you and till you die.
Wait, what? What do you mean? Like,
because they'll steal the babies and then have the smaller fairies suckle on them.
Wait.
I don't know how, but then that happens. Or they'll kill them. So,
interesting. Oh, okay.
Fairies are weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Devon.
Yes.
If you have my child, I mean, you're safe. Because, black hair, brunette. But the child may not be, because I am a natural blonde. So that little baby might be kidnapped. So, I want to teach you some ways of how to ward off changelings.
Okay.
So if suddenly your baby suddenly has like 10 toes and is like cuckoo gaga and has like red eyes, then oh shit, it's a changeling. But I'm gonna teach you how to like prevent that from happening.
Okay.
So,
protect my baby.
Protect your baby. You should often put small trinkets by the bedside of the infant, so that the fairies will get distracted and then take those instead of the baby.
I thought they were supposed to be smart.
They're like, yes, baby, let's take. Oh fuck, that shit's shiny. Ooh, is that a penny? Ooh, that's a 2021 penny.
Oh my god, they got ADHD like
damn.
me.
Literally. So here is another way. Some say that baptizing the baby will stop them from taking the infant, because apparently creatures such as trolls, goblins, and fairies will only take unbaptized children.
They said, oh no, it's a religious hoe. We gotta go.
Yeah. We gotta go. She got Jesus and God on her side. Back to why fairies are your worst nightmare, if that wasn't obvious already. Number 1, they can give your soul to the devil.
Oh, this makes more sense.
Right out the bat. Fairy Queen pays a tithe to hell every 7 years. The fairies kidnap mortals to pay their due on Halloween. Hence why you dress up on Halloween as a creature. They can't tell if you're a human, mortal, or not. And you can't tell if they're going to drag you to hell or not. You can't tell if they're a fairy or not, because everybody's dressed up, so it confuses them.
Oh, cool. Halloween theory. I've never heard that one.
Yeah,
that one's cool.
Campers always dress up on Halloween. Another one, number 2, they'll murder your child because they are petty.
Yeah, figured that one too.
So you just don't want to upset the fairies, ever. They'll make you suffer. They'll make you suffer big time. One of their most common forms of exacting vengeance is by killing the children of a family. It doesn't really matter how slight the offense was, they'll kill your children. So, in the tale called The Fairies' Revenge, a farmer builds his home on the land the fairies enjoyed meeting on and dancing on. So the fairies destroy his livelihood and cause his child to die.
Oh.
You messed up our dance floor. It's gone. You built your house on it. Time to kill your life.
I need to send.
Destroy it.
Can we send them to anger management?
Yeah, literally.
They need some
in the next story, The Farmer Punished, the farmer is just a tight-fisted skinflint, which I guess is refusing to share any of his wealth. So he's just very uppity. And he doesn't want to share his money. He's very it's all about me. You're worthless. I earned this company. I own 20% of this company.
Oh, God. Okay.
Fuck you. So this angers the fairies, who by tradition have rights to food spilled on the ground, and he dropped his food on the ground and he picked it up, which normally you're not supposed to do because that is meant for the fairies.
Okay.
So he picked up the food on the ground, and that pissed off the fairies. The fairy was like, that was my scrap, and you picked it up off the ground, bitch, so I'm gonna have to kill your family. So the farmer...
Reasonable.
Yeah. So, in revenge, the fairies arranged to have his son killed.
Oh.
Because he didn't share
He said he done,
his scraps.
Done fucked up, AA Ron.
Yeah, you done fucked up, bitch, yo kid. Pop, pop, gone. So, number 3, there are 100 different types of fairy, and they are all terrifying. Here are just some. A goblin, a boggart, a changeling, the Durg Dew, the Carathanich, the Banshee, the Bean Nye, the Fatchin, the Kelpies, the Knuckleave, the Lee Han Si, and the Dullahan, and they just go on for days.
Wow.
So we're going to talk about some of these.
Okay.
The most terrifying ones?
Okay.
So one of these fairies is called the Durg Dew. It is a vampire fairy, and I'm sorry, Devon, it looks nowhere near close to Celine from Underworld.
Oh man, that sucks. They can't even be sassy looking.
Some are, but they will literally drown you and then eat your eyeballs. So the Durg Dew doesn't drown you or eat your eyeballs, but I'm gonna just some background on how this fairy came into existence.
Okay.
So as a young woman, she was offered to an older man who cut her and locked her in a tower. Oh. Something about her porcelain skin and the contrast of the crimson blood drove him mad. But she wouldn't live this way forever. Eventually, she ended her own life, Well, some dark part of the universe wasn't going to let that go. She rose from her grave transformed, thirsting for the blood of men. Now she stalks English backroads at night, seeking her eternal revenge. Sometimes this takes the form of a seductive young woman. Sometimes it's a bloodthirsty monster.
Whoa. That's kind of interesting.
So, yeah, so she could have just went after the man that did her wrong, but I guess she's just adamant on killing any man that she sees at night.
She's a man hater.
I mean, yeah, she's yeah. That's unfortunate. So the next one is called the Faction.
Okay.
Or some people call it the Peg Leg Jack.
Oh, okay. I've heard that name.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, Peg Leg Jack.
Okay.
This fairy is from the Irish-Scottish folklore, often referred to as Peg Leg Jack, and he is, Devon, fucking terrifying.
Is he really?
Yeah. This fairy has one leg, one eye, one arm sprouting from its chest, and a mane of black feathers. He is said to be so horrifying that by simply looking at him is known to cause a heart attack.
What in the hell? What the? Okay, wait. Is he tiny or is he big?
No, he's big.
Oh. Never.
Like my height big.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
No fucking thank you.
So John Francis Campbell states in his Irish folklore manuscript, I would do this in an Irish accent if I could, but I'm not going to do it. He says he held a very thick iron flailed club, which is imagine a club tied to a long stick with a rope.
Yeah.
And you just whack it with it. In his skinny hand, and 20 chains out of it, and 50 apples on each chain of them, and a venomous spell on each great apple of them, and a girdle of skins of deer, and a roebuck around the thing that was his body, and one eye in the forehead of his black-faced countenance, and one bare, hard, very hairy hand coming out of his chest, and one veiny, thick-soled leg supported him, and a close, firm, dark blue mantle, and twisted, hard, thick feathers protecting his body, and surely he was more like unto devil than to man.
Ew. I hate that.
Yeah.
That was a good description, though.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the next one is called Kelpies.
Okay.
Kelpies.
Why does it sound all cute?
Kelpies. It just sounds cute.
Okay.
Kelpies. So Kelpies. So a Kelpie is known as a water horse. So think of Frozen 2, the water horse.
Yeah.
So a Kelpie is known as a water horse that can shape shift into a human. The Loch Ness is a Kelpie.
Oh.
The little Loch Ness monster? Yeah, it's a Kelpie. As many believe. In horse form, it's known to lure children or curious people onto its back. Hey, come hitch a ride. Come on. Get on my back. I'm a nice horse. So once...
Questionable.
Once just on the creature's back, you would then stick to it like glue. Now that you're stuck, it would slowly walk calmly into the water to drown you and then eat.
See, I knew there was something there.
Yeah. So you're just stuck on this horse, and he just slowly, casually walks back into the water and then drowns you while you're on its back.
I hate that.
Yeah.
That's a slow death.
Yeah, it is. In its human form, it would stand in the shallow end of the water to lure prey as well before dragging them into the water and drowning them. It would never step out of the water, or else its prey would see that the human form had hooved feet.
I hate that. It's almost like a different type of siren.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But people would walk up to it because it's oh, wow, ooh, look at this sexy woman or man just naked by the water. Ooh, let's get it on, and then drag you in there and drown you. So a Scottish tale, the Kelpies, is one of called the Fairy and the 10 Children. Right.
Okay.
The story goes, having lured 9 children onto its back, it chases after the 10th. The child strokes its nose and its finger becomes stuck fast.
Whoa.
Yeah. He manages to cut off his own finger and escapes. The other 9 children are dragged into the water, never to be seen again.
Holy shit. Oh my god.
What the fuck? Fucking nuts. So that was the Kelpie. The next one is called a Knuckleave, which is, I think, even more horrifying than all of them.
Okay.
He just sounds really scary, and I've seen drawing renditions of it, and it is fucked. So, this is a crossbreed of Scottish and Norse mythology, but he is very closely related to the Kelpies. He is not like very handsome, like the Thatchin, because he's just very fucking horrifying. Mm-hmm. So described as the torso of a man fused on the back of a horse, skinless, head to toe, living raw flesh. It is also said that it has thick black blood coursing through its veins, also has a gaping mouth open at all times, oozing black stuff, and one flaming eye. It is a sea creature and fins on its legs, hooves, and many, many, many dangling human arms. It is said to cause insane pestilence to islands, and these islands would respect the creature as to not upset it and cause irreversible famine.
That's nightmare fuel. Oh, that's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, oh. It is terrifying. Also, if you really want to piss this off, like if you're already rude to it, you're fucked. But if you really want to piss it off, you just gather a bunch of seaweed and burn it.
Oh, interesting.
That pisses it off. So he's like the Kelpie, but like more fucked. So there is a first-hand account of this fella, and I'll put the link in the description. It's really long. This guy describes how he survived, way back in the day. Then not to leave. So I'll put it in the description if you guys want to read it. It's really interesting and it's really scary, and it leaves you on the edge of your seat the entire time because he almost gets caught 10 fucking times, and you're like, oh god. Because imagine this thing.
I don't want to. That's nightmare fuel.
The next one is called the Dullahan.
Okay.
This is an Irish fairy. It is a headless horseman with a whip made of a human spine. Sometimes he is a headless horseman. Sometimes he's carrying his own head or appears to be driving a horse and carriage. So think of Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah.
So yeah, Sleepy Hollow was based after this fairy.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Dullahan is possessed by supernatural sight. By holding his severed head aloft, he can see for vast distances across the countryside, even in the darkest of night. Using his power, he can spy the house of a dying person no matter where it lies. He's got X-ray vision.
Fuck that. Good.
So, if you couldn't tell, this is why people during pagan times were so afraid to piss off a fairy, because these things will fucking wreck your day. Even now, they ain't playing. I put in here I ain't joking, bitch, from Coco. RuPaul. I ain't joking, bitch.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you don't fuck with these fairies. So speaking of pagan times, if I can turn back time, let's go back in the day. So we know fairy circles, right? They're those little circles of mushrooms.
Yeah.
Right. So you're never supposed to break them, or step into them,
or step on them,
or else you might. Yeah, or step on them. Or else you just might dance for 100 years, and the only way you're going to get out of it is if someone on the outside can grab you out of it.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. It was really convoluted, but basically you get put in this other dimension, and there's fairies dancing around this ring, and you'll just continue to dance around it as punishment until you die of exhaustion. Now, if someone can reach into that portal and grab you out of it, then you'll live. But sometimes it may feel like a couple seconds, but you could have been there for 20 years.
Oh my god, that's so... Imagine. That's fucking creepy, too.
So there are also these things called fairy hills and mounds, and you are forbidden to dig on them. And also forbidden to dig on fairy paths, which many people, if thought to have built near a fairy path or on one, they needed to round the corners of their home as to not block the path. So, what are fairy paths? They were a route taken by fairies, usually in a straight line in between sites of traditional significance. Also, these things were invisible. So how the fuck did you know if you were going to build on a path?
Yeah.
Right? If you're accidentally going to build on one, how would you know? So some builders use a technique known as to basically, they would map out the floor plan in the earth and place a pile of stones at each corner and leave it overnight. If the stones were undisturbed, it was safe to build. If they were disturbed, that means that there was a fairy path and they couldn't continue.
That's kind of funny if you think about it. I wonder if places still believe in that kind of theory, or not places, but construction companies.
Yeah, Yeah, hold on. We have to put. Hold on. What was that? We have to put some rocks down. So, there is another theme that states if one's house is on a fairy path, one must leave the doors and windows open at night, front and back, to allow fairies to pass through. So say if you did build on one, you have to leave some kind of entry point going in and out.
Okay.
Builders were also advised against using white quartz in their stonework, as it is said to be fairy stone.
So, but what exactly is fairy stone? What does that mean?
It's just it's like one of fairy stone is something that's protected to them. So if you use it, it's like you're using their mineral, and they don't want that.
Okay, I was gonna say, is
theirs.
it like they're like kryptonite or something? But that makes sense too, though.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's like theirs. So don't touch my shit.
Got it.
Okay. Also, if you do build on one, usually people would build the front door and the back door in a straight line from one another. Mm-hmm. So then at night, they would open both the doors so the fairies could pass through their home and not obstruct the traveling fairies.
Very, very efficient.
Yeah, very efficient, but also like you just have like a whole freaking procession of like fairies partying through your house in the middle of the night. Yeah! Woo!
Oh my god.
Yeah, you're like, oh shit, stay in my room. And why did they travel at night? I don't know.
Yeah, that is kind of funny too.
Another one is also please, if you see a fairy or know of a fairy, here are some other things to help appease them.
Okay.
People would leave these back in the day, such as offerings, and these offerings would include small trinkets, but also milk. But to also not have them walking into your home, you would have to close your windows and doors at night, especially if your windows are facing west.
What?
Why do you have to close your windows if they face west? Why, Zachary? Why? The enigma. I'll get into that in the next part. So now before we end this TED Talk about how like fucked up fairies are, and how we at camp do not and will not interact with these creatures, we need to talk about the sluagh.
The fuck is that?
Can you say it with me? Sluagh.
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 The sluagh.
The sluagh. So the sluagh are a part of the unseelie court or fairy host. They are the spirits of the unforgiven or restless dead who soar the skies at night searching for humans to pick off. So now I should have said this from the start, and I apologize to you campers, but you're not supposed to say their name for fear you would be invoking them. And that goes for all the fairies mentioned in today's episode.
You suck.
If I die, you die with me. So we're going to call the sluagh the host from now on.
Fair.
But we already said it, so let's see what happens.
You suck.
So, recap, the host is basically a group of the darkest and most vile things imaginable. They are known to look very haggard, skinny, flesh skin giving away. They also have leathery wings, and they could look like a flock of birds tightly flying together. Claw-like hands and feet and barely any hair, razor-sharp teeth, and a beak-like mouth.
No.
So like imagine zombie fairies.
No, thank you.
Yeah. They often fly with the Wild Hunt, which is basically a flying group of dead elves, goblins, dogs, valkyries, and fairies.
It's like a whole gang.
Yeah, it's a whole gang of like just death.
Oh my god, you know what I just got reminded of? What's the newer Pixar movie with the two, and they have fairies and stuff in it now? The two brothers.
Oh, Onward?
Yes, the fucking the pixies that are the fairies, and they're like a whole gang.
The bike gang. Yeah. So imagine that, but like them dead. It'll just kill you. So the wild group of death and decay have been seen in Germany, France, Russia, and the majority of Europe. They ride at night for one thing. They ride to collect human souls. Some say that seeing this flock would be an omen for a great war, famine, and pestilence. So if you were to see it, you know that something really terrible is going to happen. Mm-hmm. So the hosts have no mercy. They are basically the anti-fairy. They do not listen to anybody, they do not abide by any rules, and they will take your soul. Specifically, they will take the souls of the dying, and then after taking your soul, you will then too forever be joined in this host group for eternity.
Wow. So they just they force you to join their gang.
Yeah. And what makes us more fucked up is that they prey on the dying and take them away right before they're given their last rites.
Wow. That's pretty shady.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you're gonna go to heaven? JK!
You're coming with me.
Got you before that. Yeah, exactly. Forever. Also, just because you're healthy doesn't mean they won't take your soul and out of that meat sack of a body. They'll just rip it out of you. Oh. When they come for you, or if, they will grab your body, right? Mm-hmm. They'll just, wherever you're at, they'll just drag, if you're in your house, they'll drag you outside. Or if you're outside, they'll just pick you up. They'll shoot you up into the sky. And then they'll drop you from a very high height to your death. Right?
And this is before ripping my soul out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or they will capture you and make you shoot at people with poison arrows and then kill you.
What? They make you work first and then...
I guess. I don't know.
Weird.
So now how do you fend off from these evil fuckers?
I highly doubt you can. Shit.
So you close your windows that face west, because that's where they come from. They always fly from the west. If you don't know where west is, get a motherfucking campus campers. And to this day, in some parts of the world, people will keep their west-facing window locked, especially if there's someone dying in the house.
Oh wow, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you can tell if they're coming because you'll smell an surmountainous amount of corpse smell.
Ew.
Because it's basically what there are. They're dead flying things.
Ew, I hate that.
So, to recap, you can call the skaggle of anti-fairies by saying their name, right? You can invoke them by saying their name. Congratulations.
I hate you.
And you can stop them one of two ways. One, by locking your windows facing west. Or two, place another person in front of you as they attack. So they grab the other person and not you. So you might have to sacrifice another person.
That's so sad.
To survive.
It's so sad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, campers, that's it for today's session on gnomes and fairies. So I have a new camp rule, and it is do not call upon the fairies, do not dance with them, do not follow any gnomes into the forest or little people, or you'll die.
Yeah, no thank you. Please stay away from those little shithieds, because there ain't no coming back from those guys. They ruthless.
No.
They all ruthless.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I came actually prepared today with some jokes.
Oh.
We don't even have to wait.
Wow.
I know.
I'm shook.
I am shooketh. So, question.
What?
Why is a tooth fairy so smart?
Ooh. Why?
Because she has wisdom teeth.
I was gonna say something about fucking molars, and I was like, there has to be something there.
Okay, who granted the fish a wish?
Who?
The fairy godmother.
Shut the fuck up. That was a dumb dad joke.
Rapunzel's not a fairy tale. It's a hairy tale.
Oh my god.
Okay, last one. The tooth fairy teaches children that they can sell body parts for money. And yeah, campers, that is the end of this story. Really hope you enjoyed it, and know to never call upon the Fae, as they call it, because they will wreck your day. I know people do work with the Fae in certain magical practices, and that's great. But I know it is very dangerous. If you couldn't tell.
Yeah, no kidding.
Considering they could kidnap you, and then you'll never be seen of the human world again.
Fuck your shit up.
Or you'll just dance forever. and die of exhaustion. I mean, pick your poison. I suggest no to all of it.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think I want to be inviting those little shits in at all. I don't think I want to talk about it. I don't think I want to think about it. I don't think I want to do anything with them. I'm good.
Yeah, so, yeah, here at camp, just stay away from the fairies. Even if that bitch looks like Tinkerbell, those little shits can shapeshift. You never know, that thing will look like a saggy hag with 12 tits and she'll drown you in the water. And you'll be like, what happened to Tinkerbell? She's like, I'm Tinkerbell, bitch.
Hello, I am your Tinkerbell.
But thank you, campers, for listening. Please follow us on Instagram at
campinsomnia_podcast.
And you can also find all of our links from today's episode that I mentioned and our Linktree in the what?
In our bio. Hello.
Yes. But thank you guys for listening, and good luck trying to sleep tonight.
Yeah, please don't talk to the little shits at night. You don't want them. Make sure all your windows and doors are closed, and don't.
Yeah, just don't. Bye, campers.
Okay, bye.
Bye. I'm a fairy, motherfucker. I'm a fairy, motherfucker.
Stay the fuck away from me. Stay the fuck away from me.
Twinkle, twinkle, twinkle.